Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Stand up for your country. You know, it's interesting. There are some people, a minority, who are very, very emotionally involved with this House situation where the Republicans have not been able to select a speaker. But the vast majority of Americans could not care less. I mean, they don't know anything about the House of Representatives or anything like that. It's a very, I would say 20-25% of Americans really pay attention, close attention to politics. And on the Republican side, there's a lot of angst here. So we're going to get into why that is, and I'll give you some predictions. This thing is ongoing. As you know, we tape in the late afternoon, so I can't give you any pronouncements about who's going to be the next speaker or what, because that may change. But I can tell you what is really going on, and I will. Now, there is a very interesting display, didn't get a lot of attention, or hasn't, maybe it will this evening, where President Biden goes to Kentucky and meets with Senator McConnell in a big dog and pony show to talk about the infrastructure bill. Now, this is a mistake on McConnell and the other Republicans you see there as part. It's a mistake. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. So this was held in Covington, Kentucky, and there's a bridge behind the guys that you saw. And that bridge is falling down, but now it's been repaired as part of the infrastructure bill. Okay, all right. Now, if the infrastructure bill were just a standalone at $1.2 trillion, there wouldn't be a problem, because we do need improvements on our infrastructure in this country. But this is part of an overall strategy by the Biden administration to run up historical debt, which they have. Okay? So Biden has been in office for less than 2 years, and he has spent $6.3 trillion that wasn't earmarked before he got into office. Just let me slow down. $6.3 trillion in new spending in 2 years. Now that's borrowed money. We don't have it. That is by far and away the most money any president has ever spent, by far. Second place, as we reported last night, Barack Obama, $2.8 trillion in a 2-year period. So 2.8, 6.3. So by going to this event with President Biden, the humongous spender, Mitch McConnell legitimizes Biden. Now, I'm all for being respectful to the president. I don't want to be disrespectful for him. I called him lazy yesterday in the message of the day, and I believe he is lazy. And there's no other word that I can use. I believe he's a lazy man. He does not work hard. Certainly not solving many problems. But McConnell is the reason that they're having all of this problem in the House. So, stay with me here. The House of Representatives is made up of local politicians, primarily, 2-year term, as you know. There is a very conservative cadre in that crew, okay? And they want a conservative agenda. And they do not believe the current leadership, okay, is going to provide that. So they want somebody like Jim Jordan or, a real conservative. Now, McConnell wants independent voters to vote Republican. That's why he did this. He sends a message. We're not obstructionists in the Republican Party, okay? We are reasonable. Mitch McConnell's reasonable. But Mitch McConnell doesn't fight against the irresponsible spending, much of which is wasted. Now, Donald Trump spent a lot of money in the 4 years, and he justified it as he had to rebuild the military. All right, well, that's still going on, apparently, because that's why Tom Cotton and other conservative senators voted for the omnibus bill, because it gives all the military people a raise and sends in, I think, almost $800 billion to continue rebuilding the military. That was the rationale. So the conservatives in the House of Representatives, they're basically, we don't want any more government spending. We want balanced budgets. We don't want this deficit. We don't want the debt. And anybody who we see is soft on that, we're going to oppose, which is why you have this log jam right now that's embarrassing the Republican Party. But again, most Americans aren't following this. They don't care about it. They don't understand it. It's not an emotional issue like the border or fentanyl or a war in Ukraine. This is politics, all right? In the weeds, politics. So you have a linkage between McConnell, who is despised now by many conservative Republicans because he's deemed to be a sellout. And these House people, 20 of them, feel that, the way the leadership is forming in the House, they're going to sell out too. They're going to vote for all these big spending bills. So they want a real bottom line conservative Speaker of the House. So that's what they want. Now, how is it all going to play out? I don't know, but it's going to solve itself. It will. So I don't know who this new speaker is going to be. I don't know any of that. I'm not going to predict it. Okay, but it'll solve itself, and then people will forget about it. That's what always happens in issues like this. But in the meantime, Biden very shrewdly, this was a White House event, by the way, in Kentucky. This wasn't a McConnell event. They set it up to send the message that Biden's $6.3 trillion new spending is okay with the Republicans. That's what it was. And McConnell wasn't smart enough to see how he's being used, because he says, no, I'll use the Biden people because I'll send a message that Republicans aren't unreasonable and we'll get independent voters. I know it's a little confusing, but this is the chess game that they all play. And, I'm sitting here going, I just want problems solved. I don't care who the Republican Speaker of the House is. Solve the problems. Seems to me that they could get the conservatives in the room and say, look, we'll give you a special committee to investigate the FBI. We'll do the things that you want. Okay, we're not going to give you everything, but we're on your side. We understand, we feel your pain. I don't know, maybe that's already been tried and they're rejecting. I don't know. I do know there are loons in Congress on both sides. And I also know, as we reported yesterday, that Democrats, they vote block. There's no dissent anymore. Only Manchin and Sinema, the two senators, dissent. Every single representative on the Democratic side follows whatever the leadership tells them to do. Nancy Pelosi was the most fierce lion tamer of all time in that House. You went against her, boom, she cut your throat. So nobody did. And it's still, to this day, they vote block. They're together, and the Republicans are not. And that's the memo. Okay, so let's go to an emotional issue, airlines. So millions of Americans got hosed over Christmas and New Year's, But how about yesterday? How about yesterday, January 3rd? Ready? JetBlue, 39% of its flights were delayed. Delta, 37%. Southwest, which is completely fallen apart, 39%. Delayed. They can't get the planes off the ground because they don't have the pilots. They didn't hire enough pilots, even though we, the taxpayers, through the federal government and a COVID release, sent them billions of dollars, free money. Free money went into all the American airline companies from Washington, taxpayer money. And they can't staff? They can't hire pilots and flight attendants and mechanics? and baggage people? They can't answer the phone when you call them? Where did all that money go? You see, and it's unregulated. It shouldn't be. The Department of Transportation should be on it. But yesterday, you're out of the zone. 40% across the board, rounding it off. JetBlue, Delta, Southwest. And I'm sure American and United had, just as bad a time. There is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers, rewrite American history, and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are now being threatened by the most liberal leftists our nation has ever seen. They have failed to secure our borders, weakened our position on the global stage, are trying to indoctrinate and corrupt our children in school, and the list goes on and on. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the far left. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in the USA. I am a member, and I hope you will join as well. AMAC members have access to money-saving benefits, a robust website and mobile app, and a magazine filled with all kinds of great content. So please join AMAC today at amac.us and tell them O'Reilly sent you. That's amac.us. All right, let's go to the mail. Terrence, what is it about McCarthy that conservatives don't like? Is it because of Trump support or something else? It's about spending. Congressman McCarthy is not a hawk on the deficit or the debt. They think he's a sellout and he'll do what Mitch McConnell did. That's why McCarthy is not getting the 20 conservative votes. Michael Robbins, Buckeye, Arizona, the most disrespectful thing our government does to us working Americans is assume we're ignorant. Yes, there's something to that. It's not ignorant. They don't think that working Americans pay attention, and they can get away with a lot. Ralph, concierge member, I hope you, for 2003, will consider concierge membership. It will change your life for the better. It is worth it. 81% of Americans say 2023 is not going to be a good year. Wonder who they voted for. Well, in that Gallup poll, mostly Democrats were polled. And they voted for Biden inexplicably. Johnny, the government will not fine the airlines. Remember, the airlines mandated vaccine for all of their employees. As a result, many pilots chose to retire. Throughout the pandemic, the airlines got a lot of federal money, as I reported. So maybe some of that in the system here. Certainly the government's not doing anything. Robert Michelle, Port Washington, New York. You're right, O'Reilly. Santos should go, but we won't get another Republican in there. Okay, but you can't have a fraud in any elected office. I know the political repercussions, Robert. And Santos is Robert's congressman as well as mine. Marshall Asmer, Danbury, Connecticut. I'd like you to comment about possible outcomes for ending the Ukraine war and your thoughts on DeSantis winning the Republican nomination. DeSantis has a good shot to win it. Okay? The Ukraine war, Putin, you're dealing with a stone wall there at this point. So I don't know how that stone wall cracks. Anna Kim, Everett, Washington. My husband and I are visiting Ireland this year. I think Irish people are very friendly. It's a beautiful country. It's our first time visiting Ireland. You will have a great time. Ireland, for my money, one of the best places to travel. You're right. The folks are nice. They like Americans. It's not crazy expensive outside of Dublin. And it is beautiful everywhere. Jesse Fry, Longwood, Florida. Thanks for doing most of my Christmas shopping for me, O'Reilly. I gave the Killing books as gifts, always a big hit. Favorite, Killing the Killers. Okay, I mean, everybody has their own favorite Killing book, right? And I'm going to tell you pretty soon about the next one, which will probably be the final killing book. I'm working on it now. Okay, we want you to go to the BillO'Reilly.com store, sign up to be a premium or concierge member. We have great stuff. Remember, you get a free book if you are a member or you renew your membership or any of that. Free book. Word of the day, do not be a Lugan. I've never heard anybody say that word, Lugan, but it's a great word. Back with a final thought in a moment. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates skyrocketing. We all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers. They're the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Okay, final thought of the day. Yesterday I reported that this unbelievable spending by the Biden administration is insulting and disrespectful to working Americans. So I don't know about you, but I work real hard for my money, and I'm paying a lot in taxes. I mean, it's absurd. My tax rate federally, just federal, is 37%. Okay? Then I have to pay taxes on where I live. A lot of money. That's why a lot of people are leaving New York. Okay? I have to pay property taxes. I pay taxes here in New York on everything. Gasoline, heating oil, whatever I buy. And it just guts you. And it's insulting when they waste the money, and they waste it. Do we really need $3 million so you can have a jogging trail in Georgia named after Michelle Obama? Okay? I mean, that's the best I can give. That was in the omnibus bill. That is a waste of my tax-paying money and yours. And I could give you 1,000 examples. And that's why McConnell and the House is in an uproar, because conservative Americans have had enough of this. They want fiscal responsibility, which should be something every American wants. We are being disrespected. It's got to stop. And I don't know whether it ever will. But boy, it's right between the eyes right now. The federal government and state governments, most of them, and the folks. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at lonestartransfer.com.